Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, internet. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with my review of Avengers: Infinity War. It's a little bit later than I anticipated it being. I actually wanted to get this shot and up on Sunday, but mitigating circumstances involving my unboxing videos for Dominaria came up. Anywho, so how we're going to do this, because it's such a big deal, I'm going to try and do as spoiler-free a video, or spoiler-free at first. There is going to come a point where I will go into spoiler territory, but I'm going to be very clear and concise about what I thought about the movie without giving spoilers out. So let's get on with it, shall we? All right. I liked the movie. I really did. It utterly destroyed me emotionally, but I liked it. I really liked it. I would say it's at least close to as good as the first Avengers movie, which is probably my favorite of the Marvel movies to date. So this is pretty much tying as my favorite one. It never felt dull. There's a ton of action scenes. The best way to describe it is this is a Star Wars movie with the Avengers. Because, you got action scenes, but in every action scene, between them, you've got moments where you've got these moments that aren't action, but stuff is still going on that's important, and, if you even remotely care about these characters, then even then it's like, okay, all right, this is interesting. Stuff is being passed along. There were surprises. Oh my God, surprises! We'll get into those later on in the video. But seeing everybody together finally. Everyone. Well, okay, everyone but the Netflix crew and the guys from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Runaways. And Cloak and Dagger, and the Inhumans. But everyone but those guys. Everybody but the TV characters. Seeing all of them together was just so cool. Oh my God. Even though it destroyed me, I'm going to go see it again. And maybe again. But anyway, so the battle scenes, there's a battle scene and then there are fight scenes. Most of what we get are fight scenes. We get Thanos versus groups of characters multiple times, and then we get this massive battle in Wakanda, which Thanos' forces, not Thanos, but his forces, against the Avengers, Black Panther, the Wakandans, and by the Wakandans I mean all the Wakandans. M'Baku's there with the Ape Tribe. The Dora Milaje are there. God, I hope I said that right. If I didn't, everyone is there. Even Bucky is there. All right, and hell, there's a 2-on-2. What starts off with a 2-on-2 becomes a 2-on-5 between Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight of the Black Order, and they go after Scarlet Witch and the Vision because Vision has the Mind Stone. However, Scarlet Witch and Vision have friends, and those friends definitely turn the tide. And there are some touching reunions, mainly involving Bruce Banner, because everybody's been missing Bruce. But anyway, so far this year, we're not even halfway in, but of what I've seen this year, this is probably, I'd rank it number 2 currently. Currently, Annihilation actually holds the top spot, and when that comes out on Blu-ray, we'll be doing a post-mortem on it, so I can really get into that one on the channel. Anyway, that's the non-spoiler bit. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you see it. I've heard it's amazing in IMAX, and when I go see it again, I'm going to see it in IMAX. That's on top of my IMAX cherry. It was such a great crowd I was with. The theater was packed at 12:30 on a Friday, and you could hear a pin drop. There were moments where I kind of see something like, and I get excited and audible and like, want to sink back in my chair that I made noise. But oh man, all right. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. You know what? A quick note. If you have not seen it, I do implore you to go see it. But first, if nothing else, make sure that you have watched Thor Ragnarok. Even if you haven't watched Thor and Thor: The Dark World, watch Thor Ragnarok before you watch Infinity War. Now, if you haven't watched Black Panther, that helps. That helps with the introductions to the Wakandan characters. So yeah, I would recommend that as well. However, it's not as important. It's not as imperative to the plot. I hate to say it, it isn't. But you get less of a who are these guys than with Thor Ragnarok and saying, everybody, what's going on? If nothing else, it's like, why does Thor have short hair? What's up with that? So, anyway, go see it if you haven't. And if you have not seen it, I highly, highly recommend that you pause the video, turn off the video, stop the video, whatever. Just stop watching this video. Come back to it after you've seen it. Put it in your watch later, pause it and put it in watch later folder, whatever. Just come back to it later after you've seen the movie. Okay, so everyone that hasn't seen it is gone now, right? There's no one in the back. Okay, all right, okay. All right, now it's just us who've seen the movie. What the fuck? I mean, good God, that movie just... I swear that last hour and a half was like watching Han Solo get murdered over and over again. From the point that the Red Skull tells Thanos and that he has to kill what he loves the most to get the Soul Stone. Until the post-credits scene, when Nick Fury stands there and just says "mother" as he dissipates. Oh my God. Okay, all right. So as I mentioned earlier, I love the reunions. Bruce Banner's reunions first with Tony and then with the rest of the Avengers, and his reactions to things, like when Bruce says, "Hey, call up Steve. This is get everyone together. This is one of those things. This is why we came together." And Bruce is like, "Me and Steve really aren't on speaking terms right now." Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't think we and Avengers really matter about who's speaking to who. And Tony, the Avengers broke up. And I'll be honest, Bruce's reaction to that is just priceless. What do you mean broke up? Like a band? Because that's how it comes off. Scarlet Witch and Vision, Okay, yes, I know. In the comics, they have history. Complicated history anymore, but they have history. And there's chemistry between the two actors, but story-wise, to me, it doesn't fit. I mean, you're telling me that in 2 years they've gotten past the fact that Vision was trying very hard to, keep her, to keep her out of everyone's way. He was making decisions for her, as she put. He basically was making decisions for her, and they both got over all that, everything, really. Whatever. Vision's dead now. They're both dead now. It doesn't matter for now, at least. Spider-Man's death broke my fucking heart. I'm not even gonna. And the line they used. Doctor Who fans everywhere are just gonna ball are just that meme. There's that meme that then the Guardians. I actually really liked all the stuff with the Guardians. It felt right, but if I remember correctly, James Gunn was actually involved in writing the script, so that kind of helped. It was cool seeing Doctor Strange with more character. Well, we saw him with Thor in Ragnarok. Now we get to see him with Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, Spider-Man, and half the Guardians. The Guardian scenes, they got the feel of stuff with the Guardians, and didn't feel like it came out of left field. Peter Dinklage did a good job. We're not talking Tyrion Lannister good, but still it was good. He was good. There's no denying that he was good. Geez. I'm looking forward to Captain Marvel even more. Now, one thing I've got to say, after that ending, every MCU thing that comes out over the next 12 months, or between last Friday and 53 weeks later, the first Friday, which will be May 3rd of next year, everything either has to make a point of taking place beforehand, and kind of ending with with some characters dissipating, because you're either a shared universe or you're not. It's going to be interesting to see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deal. But then again, I also haven't watched anything from this current season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so for all I know, they've got something figured out. As I recall, at least the first part of the season was a time travel thing, so we'll see. This is almost a 5 out of 5 star movie for me. If it's not 5 out of 5, it's 4.9, which is a weird kind of thing. But God. So some thoughts on what we're gonna see next year. Well, I think that whatever the next Avengers movie is, which is coming, like I said, coming out next year, I think that we're gonna see Cap. We're gonna see the surviving Avengers, Rocket, Nebula team up with Ant-Man and Hawkeye and Captain Marvel and they're going to lay the smackdown on Thanos, and Nebula is going to get the gauntlet, put it on, and turn things back to before Thanos knew. Basically, use the time and reality stones and change things back to where the point where before Thanos knew about where the Soul Stone was. My reasoning there is that she did something similar in the comics, and kind of just like to a point before he snapped his fingers, and it left her in a rather ghastly position, just as this will leave her in a rather ghastly position as well. Okay, so God, that's a great movie. Let's see. So, anyways, some quick channel news. Tomorrow night we could come up with live stream. Hopefully, some point this weekend we will be starting a new segment called the Retro Comic Review, or Comic Book Retro Review. We'll figure that one out. I will be going over older comic books. Usually, if it's a series that has started and ended, I'll be just going over the trades one by one. This is especially true of some of the old Vertigo books like Sandman, 100 Bullets, Transmetropolitan, etc. Also, I will be covering some past crossovers. In fact, if there's a similar crossover that might be done in a live action or somewhat adapted in a live action format, I'll probably cover that close to when it's happening. But yeah, with ongoing titles that are still ongoing, it'll probably just be hitting hit the big points. And for those that have been translated into a lot of other medium or other medias, I'll probably do a compare and contrast with that as well. Looking at you, Days of Future Past. Anyhow, that's all I got for today. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my social media is in the description box down below, as is a link to my Patreon, which you are, of course, more than welcome to donate to if you want and can. I'll simply say this: donate to my Patreon right now will really help with hopefully improving the quality of future unboxing videos and allow for future unboxing videos. Period. I enjoy doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I really do. Yeah. Anywho, that's it for me for today. So this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off. Today, live long and rock hard.